Alrighty, hello Speed Gaming, how are you guys doing today? I am Ghoul02, and I'm going to be here. Looks like the race is just now getting started right as I'm doing this. I didn't have any time to prep the stage or anything like that, but this is the second race in our grand finals. Kruncha is coming in from loser's bracket, so this is tournament point for Goldfish, as you can see by the fact he's got one lovely glowing banana compared to Kruncha's none. Kruncha needs to win 2 races in a row. I believe the second race, or the third race, I guess, of this series would be on a different day, but early little mistake by Kruncha there. You can keep your momentum all the way through. So, it's not super cool, but when you don't want to start that way, oh, and Goldfish's stream froze a little bit, it looks like, so. Yeah, it's definitely not how you want to start your race off in grand finals with a little bit of a technical mistake like that. Still plenty of race to go. It's not the biggest deal, but yeah, I'm being told there's only one timer going for both runners. Goldfish does not have a timer, so we kind of have to make do, unfortunately. Goldfish did a practice run earlier today that actually went pretty well. So he's kind of in top form right now. And Kruncha is still Kruncha though, so we'll see. Yeah, it's about a 3-second lead for Goldfish, just off of some of those tiny mistakes that Kruncha made. So, yeah, World 1 of this game is relatively simple for the most part. There's not too much to go into on it. Especially if you've seen a previous race in the tournament. There's... World 1's a lot of roll right, bounce off stuff, and use Funky's double jump. Ooh, that's cute. I haven't seen that before. So, I'm a little bit out of date on some of my strats. I used to run this game a lot more on BU. I haven't kept up with quite all the funky strats, so on occasion I'll be seeing something and kind of going, oh wow, I didn't realize that was something they do now. Funky is, of course, exclusive to Switch release, and he's both really fun to play as and really fast. He gets to do a lot of things and kind of break the rules of the game in a pretty satisfying way, honestly. So. That's actually... Oh! Okay, Kruncha right there. That's really scary. If you hit that bug, it's actually pretty you can't get up there, or at least you couldn't with the old Kong setups. So, kind of nice recovery by Kruncha to make sure he didn't just lose. It's like 20 seconds to fail getting to that barrel. Or it used to be. There might be a way now with Funky to get there, given that Goldfish went straight from the water. I'll have to ask them about that at some point. So into Canopy Chaos, this was kind of the pilot level for Cranky. So you see spikes everywhere. Spikes are actually really bad for Funky. It's the one thing that he doesn't really like. You get stuck in them. We call it hummus. I don't know why. Blame Goldfish, he's a dork. But if you ever get stuck on spikes, he just kind of stands there like a bump on a log and can't really go right or left, so he's just gonna like jump and very slowly work his way off of them. Doesn't take damage, which is like a casual thing, but you see right there, Kruncha got stuck in the hummus. The run got... I mean, part of it is that the loads on the Wii U were really bad, and they're actually much better on Switch. We believe they actually did better compression with the game, and like the way levels load now is a lot of assets for the world get loaded in memory at once instead of level by level. But the real time went down by, I believe, 15 to 20 minutes almost. Like, it was pretty crazy how much faster the Switch version is. Was it actually only 5? It might be 5 of, like, non... Oh man, we're having fun with timers. It was, I think, 5 minutes of loads, and then probably another 5 minutes of just different strats that are enabled. That's probably about right. In my head. I'm saying this, you can look up the leaderboard and see what DKS's time is. I can actually do that during the auto-scroller. I'm not quite up to date on this, like I said. Okay, yeah, it's about 10 minutes then, of real time. So, auto-scrollers in this game, the minecart ones are actually kind of technical, but for this one in particular, there's not too much. In general, you want to jump at the bottom of slopes and jump up hills. The difference between a perfect minecart level and like just playing the stage as vanilla as possible is really only 2 to 4 seconds or so. It's not very much. So, it matters, but it's... runners of this caliber shouldn't be making any mistakes that would actually cost more than a second apart from each other on this level. Alright, so here we have the first time we're going to switch off of Funky. So Funky does a lot of cool things. He basically is a better Dixie Kong. But he's not as good underwater, and he does not have the Cranky Pogo, which... The Cranky Pogo has interesting different properties that Funky just doesn't quite have. So you see right there, they messed up some of the hitboxes when they ported it. And you can actually just hit him just as he's standing on the ledge now, for some reason. But only if you have the Cranky Pogo, because he has a spike on the top of his hurt box. So it looks ridiculous, and it sped this fight up just a ridiculous amount compared to how it used to be. But Goldfish swagging out a little bit, bouncing on him when he wasn't vulnerable. They see if you don't get the quick hits, it's a pretty long while before he becomes vulnerable again. So, saves a fair amount of time, more enough to make up for the Kong switch, even if you mess up 1 or 2 of the quick hits, which is great because the bosses are fun. They've got their moments, but there's a lot of just waiting for this boss to expose himself. So anything that speeds it up is pretty nice. Right here. I actually don't know. I'm assuming probably, yeah. Yeah, they still go for the early big fish. Oh, gosh. I have not seen that animation before. He just goes flying off. I've seen this a couple times, but I didn't realize how much it messes with some of the animations before. Oh, that's actually great. So, pretty solid start for Goldfish. In general, you want to be about, 9:30. For an average runner, about under 10 minutes is great, but for this caliber, 9:30 is about what you're looking for a really solid run, so good for them. Kruncha's about 10 seconds behind or so, it seems like. And we're right back to Funky. Funky speeds up Windmill Hills a pretty extreme amount just by the nature of how he works. Back on the old Wii U, when Funky wasn't a thing, this level actually was one of very few where the IL was fastest with Dixie, I believe. Unless that... don't think that was changed. It was fastest with Dixie for a long while just because she can skip something. Funky kind of gets to do the best of both worlds. He gets to do Cricky stuff in a lot of places, and he gets to do the Dixie stuff in others. Right here, you're going to watch Goldfish on the left. He's going to be climbing this tower. Nice and easy. That's actually, like, finding routes for that's actually a lot trickier than it looks. At this point, we've got a pretty good way up, but I remember we were all so used to doing this with Cranky that actually getting up that tower was a lot trickier on release. Oh, Kruncha not quite making the jump there. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Yeah, right there. He's not quite getting max height off of that before getting the double jump with Funky, and it's costing him a fair amount of time. But you see how he just rolls off of that platform. Normally with Cranky you had to wait a bit. Dixie you could just jump off as well. Which is why she was faster in the IL for a long time. So far, Kruncha's looking a little bit sloppier than Goldfish, which things can change, but we'll see. So here's Windmill Hills. It's the first Rambi level in the game. It's a lot different in the Switch version, since back on the Wii U version there was a pretty infamous trick of keeping momentum from some swinging platforms, and he's still gonna try to keep it as much as possible, but due to the nature of losing the Cranky boat, you can't conserve momentum for nearly as long anymore. So you're going to see a lot more kind of stop and go, trying to just hold max speed as long as possible coming up. You'll see Kruncha is actually opting to not get Rambi early. In general, it's about the same. There's good and bad to both. I personally don't take Rambi, but you're going to get Rambi eventually. Probably. So right here, you're going to want to watch Goldfish. And see how long you can hold the momentum. So you see right there, he kept the swing boost as long as he possibly could. And into the final section. Probably worth directing your eyes over to Kruncha. These boosts, if you mess them up, will kill you. Almost killed him there. He managed to recover thanks to Funky's double jump. Interestingly, he is keeping Goldfish just abandoned Rambi right there. I'm not sure why. I'm assuming that was more of just a swag play from Goldfish. You'll see him again try to Kruncha holding the momentum from those swings just a little bit before hopping off. I'm just going to go through the final section now. Especially with Rambi, the section's pretty simple. The one thing you are going to note is that if he could bounce off of something instead of starting a new run with Rambi, he will try to do it. Like right there, you'll notice he landed on top of that. Tries to not touch the ground at the end. Rambi's running animation takes a lot longer than any individual roll does. Rolls take away time. So avoiding those whenever possible is actually pretty important. So right here, this is Horn Top Hop. This is one of... It used to be the bane of my existence, and a lot of... It's the hardest early level to learn as a speedrunner, but it also is really fun once you learn it. Any mistake in this level is magnified because everything is in time with the music. So you make any mistakes and you don't know where the cycles are and you have to kind of improvise. Which, as you can see right there, just killed Goldfish. He was off cycle a little bit due to some mistakes earlier in the level, and you can see right now he's going to go all the way back here, has to go back through, and that's going to bring Kruncha pretty much back in line. So that section's really scary just because of how much of it is just you roll off the platform and hope that those horns are blowing and they're going to blow you back up. And you can respond and react if things go poorly, but if you don't react in time, it usually results in a death unless you're just completely prepared for it. Yeah, Goldfish is going to be kicking himself for that mistake, though. So this final section is essentially an auto-scroller. They're just looking to get to the top, and with the music and everything else, there's enough little keys to where they know when to jump. It's playable with a Pro Controller. There are not a lot of Switch games that are required to be on Joy-Cons. Alright, so we have our second and basically final minecart level of the speedrun. There's a tiny section that's barely a minecart in one of the later levels, but "9 seconds." So Kruncha caught up, probably a solid 15 seconds off of Goldfish's death. Goldfish likes to jump late there, doesn't he? So, it's a pretty cute level, actually. It's a lot of fun, especially your first time through, although you probably will die a lot. So, whenever you're in the log flume, it's basically a minecart, but you can jump into water. And when you do, you'll notice they kind of like, they do the thing where they like dip into it. So you'll notice that the runners are going to try to jump at the bottom of hills, even if it means taking damage. One nice thing about Funky Mode is you actually get 3 hearts instead of just 1. And machine for Goldfish. So for reference, he got to the machine at about 16. Back on the old Wii U version, you're really aiming for like a sub 19 or so for a really good runner. At my level, it was like a sub 20 was all I was really looking for, but Goldfish going for the little bunny hops on top of the floating platforms. It's always a little scary. Kruncha just riding it out. I think that's probably the smart play in a race like this, but it does save a tiny amount of time. As crazy as it sounds. Alrighty, on to Alpine Incline. This is a level that got a lot better with Funky. So back in the old Wii U version, we used to switch to Dixie here. Used to be kind of slow, a little bit annoying. Especially because Dixie has a lot of problems, especially with keeping speed. And Funky really doesn't have any of those, so you can just kind of keep going fast. And you don't really have to change how you're playing. Nice job by Goldfish. Wow, keeping good speed across. It's actually surprisingly tricky to keep all of your momentum off of those balloons. You'll see Kruncha did a pretty good job of it as well. That requires you to jump as you hit the balloon, but you can't do it afterwards, and you can't do it before. So it's very easy to lose your speed on top of those balloons and springs like that. Switch is about 10 minutes faster. Partly from loads, partly from faster strats that Funky can allow us to do. Alright, on to Wingding. the gimmick for this level is you have these vines that the Kong's going to grab on and just zip line down. Music's fantastic here. The one downside is that you can't really speed up the vine sections at all. So you're really just kind of playing for these sections like what Goldfish is on right now. And pretty clean first sections off the vines for both players. This is one of my favorite songs in the game, at least. So right here, Goldfish rolling on through. And that was pretty clean. Probably want to direct your eyes over towards Kruncha, watch how he handles it. Pretty much identical. I think he might have saved a roll even, but... there's a little bit of startup to every roll, as I mentioned a bit earlier, but I got a little bit lost. But avoiding starting new rolls is always like kind of the main thing you're looking to do. Ooh, Kruncha with a little bit of a bonk there. So you keep a lot of speed off of that swing. And use that to get into the barrel. So you see right there, Kruncha executing it pretty well. And Goldfish in. Final barrel, no problem. See how Kruncha does the climb. Something kind of funny, these platforms slowly slide down because the bottom of the stage is falling out. It actually lets Funky kind of get on top of platforms that even other Kongs couldn't really do, just by the way that his double jump works. Alright, we're on to Scal. Scal is probably the most speedrunnable of the bosses in this game. There's a lot of really interesting things you can do to make him go fast. You can see right there, here he's going to throw down 3 eggs. And these are the only 3 eggs he's actually going to drop for this phase for about 30 seconds if you don't get all 3 hits. Thankfully, it's a pretty easy phase. So right here, he's going to start blowing a little wind. So you're going to see right here, Goldfish is going to pick up the first egg, get the second one to appear. There's going to be one more coming. But we got to pick up the second one before it despawns. Beautiful from Goldfish. Nothing to it. Want to watch Kruncha, make sure he does the same. Second egg is sitting there waiting, throws the first, grabs the second, off the third, and slam dunks it right in there. Perfect job by Kruncha. Back over to Goldfish. This final phase, he's only going to get 2 eggs after this little feather storm. A bunch of guys will be flying in from the background. Alright, so here's his 2 eggs. Boost off the first egg, and he has to hold this one for a while now because Scal's not going to expose himself for a while. So he's going to drop down eggs from the sky, and you have to just kind of dodge through them. The one thing that is really scary is that failing to get these last 2 hits costs a lot of time. Remember correctly, it's like a solid 50 seconds. Goldfish executes no problem. Kruncha is about to be on the hit right here. And then he's going to go throw the last egg. Perfect boss fight from both players. Only thing they didn't get was the quick kill, which is not something you go for in this version because there's no setup anymore. And we're on to the Lion King with our Circle of Life. So much like 2-3, this is another level with cycles based on the music. Now the one nice thing about this level compared to Horntop Hop is that the cycles in this are very easy to get back on because it's 7 seconds and it's gated. So as opposed to corn top hop, where if you're off cycle, you just have to keep going. This is just flat 7-second increments that you can gain or lose in this level from proper or improper play. So you'll see some swag, some improvising, some dumb things. Goldfish rolling through only half the grass. That's not really a time loss. He's just having fun. Same with Kruncha. So you can see right here the first notice, and if they miss a cycle, Giraffe's going to go right, and you're going to go jump right onto the zebra. So no time loss. First cycle through from Goldfish. Really would expect nothing less from players of this caliber. Kruncha as well with the first possible cycle. Probably want to watch Goldfish right now. Goldfish is going through on the final section. Got to jump up the top of these snakes at the end. And Goldfish's movement's looking very clean right now. Now you're going to watch right here. He's going to try to get into this barrel as quickly as possible. You're going to see him jumping the snake. Don't think he got quite what he was looking for, but he did get in off of the second snake head, which is actually pretty difficult to do. So watch over in Kruncha. Kruncha gets on top of the second snake, which is slightly faster than that double jump. And that Goldfish had to take. Good stuff by both runners, though. Like, that was a great recovery from Goldfish, actually, to save that. Alright, on to the infamous Bab Bonanza. This level does actually, it's sneaky when you're learning the game. Because it doesn't seem like it's that difficult, then you kind of get into it and you realize just how easy it is to lose time or make small mistakes that kind of add up. It's just very difficult to actually die on this level, so... So far Goldfish putting on a clinic. Although he's missing a couple things he's meaning to bounce off of or land on, so... Whoa! It's a bit off from Goldfish. Kind of a little bit on the sloppy side, actually. Kruncha probably can make up a bit of time here if he plays his cards right. Yeah. Pretty tight. The classic puzzle piece jump. That was a 3 from Goldfish. And Kruncha forgot to spawn it. I believe the current funky record is probably 4. Some madman might have gotten 5 puzzle jumps in at some point, but it's probably involved some form of witchcraft. And on to Frantic Fields. This level used to be the single hardest level in the speedrun. It's still faster, I believe, if you could nail the perfect version of that trick. But it only saves 3 seconds, and the downside is incredible. Plus, you lose time on Babab getting it. It's very much not worth going for in single segment anymore. But it used to be the last Wii U trick you would learn would be how to do Tornado-do, as we called it. Where you would use the tornadoes and how they throw you out. Just get this massive, massive boost of speed. It's really crazy stuff. If you own this game on either Switch or Wii U, I highly recommend watching just the IL version of this level, because the fact that it works, let alone that it's like as well done as it is crazy. So I still remember when it was first like discovered that, hey, these tornadoes kind of throw us out a little faster. You know, runner by the name of Natsunibi brings it up, and I kind of dismissed it even. I was like, that doesn't make sense with the physics, because at the time I thought you'd have to be an ice physics to keep the speed like that. Turns out that wasn't the case at all. You could just do it on this level for whatever reason. It lets you keep the speed when pretty much no other level would. and it's really crazy. Completely worth checking out. So, again, pretty solid run by both players through there. And on to Frantic Fields. Or no, Scorching Torch Frantic Fields is the last one. Frantic Fields is one of those levels that kind of feels good to learn, because after like a pretty good stretch of levels that have a lot to learn, pretty difficult. Frantic Fields is a lot of just hold right and mash roll, and then just jump at the right times. It's not to say that it doesn't feel good, it's one of the easier levels to get to a decent level. See if Goldfish gets fire droplet skip. No, he's gonna jump right in and take it. Oof. Very scary jump from Goldfish. Definitely saves time, but oof. Yeah, grabbing the tips of those ropes, but just cutting out rope cycles. Beautifully done by both players. Looks like Kruncha is actually making up a little bit of time still, which is good to see. So Twilight Terror is a pretty simple level. You'll see Kruncha kind of screwing around. You can beat almost all of this level by just holding the button. It's one of three Rocket Barrel levels in the run. Unlike the minecart levels, you cannot speed this up at all. This is a fixed speed. You can take damage, you can mess around, you can go from the top to the bottom, you can keep yourself perfectly straight. None of it matters. All that matters is get to the barrel as quickly as possible, and then get from the barrel to the end as quickly as possible. You say that, Funky's about to take a back seat pretty soon here. So Funky has a lot of advantage over the other Kongs, but he has two areas where he is weaker than the other Kongs specifically. So underwater, Diddy is still the king. The jetpack is incredibly useful, on top of just being fun to use, and easy to use actually. It's surprisingly a lot more maneuverable than basically anything else underwater is. And then anything that has to do with spikes and momentum conservation, Cranky is still a little bit better. Since he can actually bounce off of flat ground and maintain speed, while Funky needs an enemy or something of that nature to bounce off of to keep his speed. Beautiful from Goldfish for that opening. That's basically a perfect Bramble Scramble, and this level actually is pretty easy to make a mistake on. You'll see again how they're bouncing off of things as often as possible to try to maintain speed without having to start another roll for Funky. Kruncha nailed it as well. This is one of those really, really fun levels to learn and do. You get to do all kinds of like crazy depth-defying jumps. Jumping out over just nothing, and this thing jumps in to save you at the last second. And those will always pop up, but it's still it just feels good. This is one of the most fun levels to do. Kruncha going for a little bit of swag and getting the G at the end. Yeah, it'll probably take about an hour and 23 to 25 minutes for both players to finish, so about 50 minutes away. That's my mental math is a bit off. Yeah, So here we have Baboom. Baboom will turn himself into 3 individual monkeys. You'll notice the monkeys have colors that get lighter whenever they get hit. That is essentially their health bar. And you have to kill them one by one. And you'll notice right here, they go back to their dark color. You can't kill 2 of them on one cycle, and damage does not carry over between cycles. So really the main goal is just to kill each of them as fast as possible. One of the biggest random benefits to the Switch version, actually, is that this fight used to be very random. The monkeys would go different heights on poles, they would throw things to different positions, and for whatever reason, the Switch port seems to have broken the random number generator during boss fights. So you'll get the same pattern every time, and even more fortunately is that the pattern is very close to what the Wii, if not identical actually, I'm not sure, to what the Wii U individual level world record would be. So final phase right here, you can see them kind of jumping around. Of note, when Baboom is swinging that hammer, the hammer is treated as a spike hitbox, but Funky and Cranky can both bounce on top of spikes, so the damage actually goes through, even though he's spinning that hammer and should be invulnerable. So see right here, Goldfish is switching to Donkey. Again, switching to Donkey allows you to use the 3 other Kongs from the original port. And we really want Diddy for these underwater sections. You'll see why momentarily. So, first thing of note is that when it's solo DK, what you're going to try to do is you try to do a spin and then cancel it. And then as soon as you get Diddy, you start spamming his jetpack ability. And you'll see, like, that's so fast compared to anything else underwater. And it also just feels really good to control. You can sharp turn. Normally with both Kongs, the game kind of expects you to mash the roll button still. And when you do that, they'll spin, but their turning radius basically goes to 1/3 of what it was. So switching over to Dixie right here. It's not quite necessary for the checkpoint, but it is slightly faster to have her. Dixie allows you to go through currents with only slight slow. There is a way through currents with Diddy Kong, but you use a spin for every single time. Push yourself a couple of pixels. And in this situation, as you'll see right here, it's very quick for Dixie, and she doesn't save much time on the next level, so you can afford to make the swap here. Alright, so here we go with Rockin' Relics. This was one of my favorite levels to run. Perfect opening from Goldfish. Again, I wouldn't expect anything less, but it is an easy spot to make a mistake and then have things go horribly wrong. You'll note that we are back to Diddy to do these underwater sections. Nope, Kruncha going into the water. It's not what he was looking to do. And then another hit. Kruncha's not having a great go of it right now. Nothing huge from Kruncha, at least. Lots of little like slop here and there. He's definitely not out of it by any means, but he really does need to close up some of the mini gaps he's still leaving open. And he probably needs Goldfish to make a pretty big mistake for him to catch up. That said, the end of the game is very brutal. There's plenty of chances for Kruncha to shine. This is probably the slowest level in the run. Unfortunately, there was a glitch that got patched out in the Switch version. So instead of skipping the entire level by going out of bounds, we do actually have to do it the intended way, which... not too much. Figured to let you guys enjoy the music a little bit. We're on to C-Stack Attack. So the opening for this level is pretty key. Trick right here, Goldfish is going to grab this bomb, throw it, perfect. If he misses that and loses the bomb or kills the penguin early, it's quite a bit slower. We're swapping over to Cranky. Cranky gets through this section much easier. Perfectly done. And we're going to get that first bomb as quickly as we can. Roll through. Here we go. Going for the strong dong. Rolling through. Bounces up like that. Roll, bounce. Oh! Okay, saved. Oh, he fired the completely wrong direction. And Kruncha grabbed the wrong barrel, so he actually is going to just sacrifice himself. I believe that's... yeah, excuse me, right there was just a few frames too late on the rotating barrel to get what he needed. Could have gone through with Diddy, but would have slowed him down enough. I think taking the death there was probably the right decision, but it is unfortunate nonetheless. So, when you're playing with the traditional Kongs, there is a rotating barrel mechanic on... oh! Both players firing a little bit too late. Yeah, there's a rotating barrel mechanic that allows you to get all 3 Kongs, but that's a global cycle. So getting there specifically, it'll always go Diddy to Dixie to Cranky, so knowing where it is and what the Kong's going to be is a big deal. Kruncha failing to do the box skip at the end as well. Just not his day right now. That's so unfortunate. So he's got to stay calm. The race isn't over yet, but that's a solid 20 seconds, and he really doesn't have that many more give. Gonna go for it again, gets it second try, but the damage is kind of done at this point. Goldfish has a massive lead at this point. So it'll be interesting to see if Goldfish can probably start playing a little bit safer if he knows he's this far ahead. Because really the main thing he should be looking to do here is to just not let Kruncha back into this. Knowing Goldfish, that's not how he'll play at all. But he's built a pretty significant lead at this point. One thing to note, Kruncha's always had the best underwater mechanics out of any Tropical Freeze player. So definitely want to watch him as he goes through some of this, especially for like hitting these switches by spinning on them. The way he manages to maneuver through them is so difficult, and I have no idea how he does it. So it doesn't look like much, but try it sometime. I promise you, it's so much more difficult than it looks. We're going through the underwater section with those. 1 bonk. Really, you can afford about 2 bonks before you start having issues here. Yeah, he had about a bonk and a half. Got through without too many issues. Okay, you probably want to start watching the left side. Goldfish is on Fugu, who is the 4th boss in the game. Fugu's hurt box is always active, it's just against the spiky wall. Thankfully, underwater, Cranky has something that'll let us hit him. And you can see we can get in position and kind of just make it happen. This is the shortest boss fight in the run, although Pompey might be faster now. I'd have to double check that. Alright, looking good. So right here, final part of the fight. Goldfish going to get himself in position. So you can see he's going to take the knockback and then just kind of hit him away. So this is a setup. Even when he's at 1 heart, the game will always give you a heart if you're on 1 heart when you hit a boss. So, looks like Kruncha got through without too many issues for the rest of current capers. He'll be doing Fugu as well. That said, I think it's probably better to stay focused on Goldfish for now. 5-1 is one of the coolest levels in the run. So we're going to swap back to Funky for the rest of the run, since there's very little water. Yeah, you're going to lose Cranky in this boss fight no matter what. I mean, you can keep him, but it's luck. Alright, so here we go. You're going to watch, he's going to roll across those on the bottom. So the opening is relatively simple here. And the crazy stuff is going to start right about now. So back in the older route, we used to actually have Dixie for 1 jump, switch back to Cranky, and this is when it's going to get fun, because we're going to go for the modified Omega King Zing. Oh, that's... No trusty trolleys in the Switch version, you can just jump it with Funky. So, being able to go across those with Cranky was a thing, but it was so incredibly difficult and precise that I don't think anybody ever went for it during full game RTA. But, ooh, that was cute. I haven't seen that before. Goldfish got to cut out a couple barrels there at the end by just rolling off and into the barrel. But yeah, the Omega King thing was kind of like the holy grail of like, this is a trick that can be done and saves a decent amount of time. It's where you bounce across both of those spike balls from instead of riding the hanging platform at all. It used to be you'd have to ride it across the first one, and you could bounce off the second one pretty easily. But now you just go off of both of them. It's really quick. It looks great. Super swaggy, really cool. So definitely want to keep an eye on Kruncha. He's getting set up for it. We're going to go off of that. Grab the hanging platform. Oh, okay. He had to slow his roll a little bit at the end, but he's definitely doing okay. Avoids the trusty trolley, and off to the races still. This last section is still really tricky. There's kind of a setup you do where you take the damage right here like Kruncha just did. This used to be the easiest spot in the game for Death Cycle in the Wii U route, but thankfully it's a lot more forgiving with Funky, and you can see he also got that same barrel skip at the end. Doesn't say, I assume it saves very little time, but there's no reason not to do it. So this actually looks pretty easy to do. So back to Goldfish, going through the second of our 3 rocket barrel levels. This one does not have an early shortcut. So we're going to be watching Penguinji try to knock Goldfish off his rocket tree for the full length of the stage. I'd say Kruncha probably needs about 2 deaths from Goldfish. Maybe a really, really bad death could get him tied, but I still think he's going to need probably about, you know, a solid 20-second death and a solid 30-second death to get back into this race. Kind of unfortunate, actually. I don't really want to cheer for Goldfish to mess up, but I also would love to see a close race. I guess maybe that means that no matter what happens, that we get to be winners. Anyways, on to Fruity Factory. This used to be one of Kruncha's specialties, but Goldfish executes it just fine. Yeah, this is pretty clean from Goldfish. He's kind of in the zone right now. Yes, Funky is fastest. Although you do switch to the other prongs for some levels. And he's into the tunnel. That was really clean from Goldfish. I don't think there was too much he could do to speed that up, ultimately. I haven't seen any mistakes from Kruncha either. He's playing this very well. Manicky Battles is a level that most Tropical Freeze runners, so they started in the Wii U days, will have a very clean handle on. This used to be one of the very few levels that you could not lose your partner Kong without pretty severe ramifications. So I think this is one of, like, when you were learning this game, you just practiced this level until you could just do it in your, like, blindfolded in your sleep while humming a show tune. Goldfish really kind of in the zone. I think the only major mistake I can remember is the death back in 2-3. Which again was just a tiny mistake that got him off cycle enough. Goldfish is going for some extra height on those jumps, just not quite getting it. Oh, that's cute, going across the tops of those. So right here, we're going to go for a secret exit. Normally, you can't go through currents by spinning, but so they didn't make you use the other Kong. Funky can just swim through current, but normally you're supposed to have Dixie there. You can get through with Diddy, but it's a pretty tricky process if you don't know how to do it. That said, every speedrunner would learn it because it was quite a bit faster. Kruncha losing the bomb. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit of tilt coming out, I think. I don't think I've ever seen someone throw that bomb too soon and just not get the explosion. That's really... It was like pixels, too. Those explode as soon as they hit the door. So 5B is another one of those levels with those global cycles from music. What we're looking for here at least what I used to look for is a different spot. Goldfish is actually going to take a damage boost. Let's see what he does here. He needs to take another one. There is a setup that you can get through without taking damage, but apparently Goldfish is going to just take that little bit of extra. Oh, that's really nice. I haven't seen that before. Ending up on top of that from bouncing off that owl is really cool. So, it's pretty cool seeing the developments from this game over time. They both started at the same time, Ducky. So essentially the time gap should be pretty evident by when they finish. So right here, Goldfish is on the first level in the game with ice physics. You'll see right here, ice physics in this game lets you do some really crazy stuff. So those springs give you forward momentum, and you can add to that forward momentum by rolling. Oh, Kruncha died right at the end. I think he's pressing a bit, just trying to catch back up. It's not even at the end. Ooh. That's a pretty early death. I wonder what happened. I totally missed it. I was too caught up with the ices. You see, like right there, the Goldfish is getting just crazy amounts of speed from those springs, and you can add to it with the roll because the ice lets you preserve that speed even into the roll animation. So yeah, Kruncha's just not in a good spot right now. Then he's probably about a minute and a half. It's probably 3 deaths Assuming Kruncha plays well from here, and Goldfish plays everything except for those deaths to expectations. So this is Bashmaster. Bashmaster is the slowest boss in the game. A lot of waiting on individual tiny cycles to hit him. That's one of my favorite boss arenas. You'll notice the background actually slowly spins. It's got great music. It's just really long. The longest single level in the game. Kruncha got max speed off of that boost right there. I believe he probably made up a tiny bit of time there, actually. Well, until that bong. Goldfish going for hit number 6, I believe. Going for his 6th hit now. Sorry, I miscounted. That was probably his... Oh yeah, that was his 6th hit, so... Well, this was a fight with randomness. Oh! Kruncha not getting the... Yeah, he is not happy with himself. We could just kind of see it in the way he just kind of took the hit. Losing the first hit there is one of the better places to miss a cycle in this fight. But you do have to wait some time for it, so it's unfortunate, but it is probably among the better mistakes you could make in this fight. You can see he's not giving any room now since he made that mistake. Goldfish going through his 9th hit, easy as they come. Or easy as it goes, I guess, is the proper term. Or easy as you like, that's the actual phrase. And we are off to the final world. The final world is the longest one as far as number of levels. It is 8 levels and a boss, 1 for each world inside of Donkey Kong Country Returns. The first one is, again, like probably one of my favorites musically, and I think this level is super fun to do fast. It is an easy level to make a mistake on. So, he gets the early barrel fire, no problem. Yeah, Goldfish just looks in complete control right now. pretty much perfect from Goldfish. I don't think there's much I could say to improve that. He really is just kind of putting on a clinic at this point. Now, I do know that in his practice run earlier today, he did have some issues on this next level, I believe. No, that was Spike. Spike's run. And he did earlier today had issues on 6-2. Another beautiful level. Lots going on here. So you're gonna. One of the bigger things, we're gonna roll through the tucks. And when you roll down that hill, since you're on ice, the game actually registers that. And it remembers that you're actually building speed from sliding down the ice. Alright, probably want to watch Kruncha here, see if he gets the early barrel fire with no issues. At 221, that's going to be very difficult. Uh, 6-3 is probably one of the easier levels in World 6. It's fun, it's got great music, it's very flashy, but it also is relatively simple, although Goldfish is making it look easy while also saving every frame. Some of these bounces I wasn't even sure were possible. The game is about an hour 23 to an hour 25, hour 26. Kruncha having to take it a little bit slow at the start of 6-2. Definitely not as smooth as Goldfish was through that section. At this point, I imagine Kruncha's just trying to limit major mistakes. He probably knows he's down, but I think his mental is kind of a little bit not quite in a position where he feels he's going to do better by going for risky plays. Goldfish on pace for a high 22. That will be a PB for Goldfish, at least according to the leaderboard. So, that said, probably the hardest level in the run is coming up. And I do know that his PB did get it, so he probably has to nail this. Probably worth watching Kruncha for now. Rocket Barrel level, this one's probably the hardest, but it's still a Rocket Barrel level. You really can't speed it up. Oh, Kruncha. Okay, he recovered. He's making it hard on himself still. They're outdated. Okay. Tradition of Goldfish not updating his PBs because he'll beat it soon enough anyway. Goldfish about to head into the final minecart section of the game. And as you'll see from the icon, yes, this giant snowball is apparently a minecart. Alrighty, this might be kind of the last chance for Kruncha. Goldfish probably needs a major mistake here. And he probably needs a couple of them, actually. Goldfish taking the opening as easy as possible. That's a smart play if he knows he's ahead. Goldfish nailing that final boost. Yeah, that's not much to say. Goldfish is just playing out of his mind right now. Those are so much harder than they look. And he probably needed to make multiple mistakes there for Kruncha to catch up as well. This is the only silhouette level in 90% right here. There are two others in the game, but both of them are off the 80% route. Unfortunately, because these are really pretty levels. Goldfish doing this climb pretty much perfectly. Let's take a look at Kruncha right here, see how he's going to go through. First boost, he's going to get it damageless. Perfect. Oh, he's going for the second boost as well. Oh my god. Took a hit. So he's going to slow it down here probably, but that's a really good version of that second boost. This level is so difficult, but man, does it look good when you nail it. And final one. And that is a perfect Inka Dinka by Kruncha. So they both nailed that. And that is not easy. So one nice thing about the Switch version of this game, Funky kind of lets you brute force this level in particular. It used to be kind of problematic if you lost your Kong buddies, but with Funky you have those extra hearts, you can just kind of go right through. Kruncha died, I missed whatever happened there. I'll catch it on the replay. Yeah, he just rolled off a platform that he needed to jump a little bit sooner. Goldfish just isn't even giving him a chance, to be honest. So this is the final Rambi level, and unlike the other two Rambi levels, Rambi is actually required here. Losing Rambi pretty much makes the level uncompletable. That double bop was cute. I don't know if it saved time, but it was cute. Goldfish going through, no major issues so far. The one thing that is scary is this level does have a lot of random stop and go. And if you're a bit anxious, you can find yourself kind of firing too soon or doing things that without having cleared it. Abandons Rambi there for the swag. Pretty soon, he'll be going for the HDQ barrel. He's in. Gives that plenty of time to get out of the way. I've actually fired that. If you fire it on the perfect frame, you can actually get stuck on top of that and then just die. Awful, don't do it. And we're on to the final boss for Goldfish. Kruncha not making that last jump inside of Frosty Factory. He got all the way to the end, tried to go for the barrel skip. Or I guess more specifically the penguin. Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Kruncha die there before. Rolls through, off of that. Yeah, he's gonna take the barrel this time. Yeah, I think Kruncha's probably just pressing a little bit at this point. So, for some reason, when they made boss RNG fixed, they kind of broke Frederick a little bit. He does one extra jump compared to what he would do on the Wii U version. We don't know why. A lot of things about this game are kind of weird sometimes. Let's see if Goldfish can get this early throw. Nope. Did cause the little trip animation at least, which makes it easier to hit him soon, so definitely was worth going for. Alright, here we go. Goldfish gonna go for one more early throw. Didn't get it, but did get the trip. And the hit. Last section. Let's see if he lines these jumps up properly and times them. There's one. There's two. He is gonna get the final charge. And that's GG for Goldfish. Just over 123. Kruncha is still at the HDQ barrel. But that does mean we do have a tournament champion in Goldfish. So, very well deserved. Looks like Kruncha is stopping. I wonder if he's just going to not finish. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to concede it, I guess. Goldfish making his split solid. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do an interview or not, but if we don't, that was the Tropical Freeze Tournament Finals, Grand Finals. Goldfish is your champion, Kruncha is second place, and Spike Vegeta took third. We had, I believe, 16 entrants in a double elimination bracket. And it all came down to this. Let me see if we are doing an interview or not. Okay, let me... wonder if this will work.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going good. How do you feel?
Feel good. Too bad I died in 2-3, because really dumb. But, like, shenanigans happen in races. What can you do?
I know. I was... So,
Way
did
the
you
road,
know,
man.
like, were you watching Kruncha stream it all the whole time, or was it
A little
pretty
bit.
much-
I had people keeping tabs, but it was tough because I didn't have my timer on at first. So the reason that happened, I feel like we have time to talk about dumb shit, right? The reason I didn't have my thing is I went to start my stream and then OBS crashed. So I needed to task manager delete it, and then when I restarted it, it was a different scene. So then once I realized that they didn't have a timer, I put my timer up as soon as I could. But then it turns out the Crunch's timer reset. So like we never really knew. So I had to like keep tabs by having like people in a call with me, like have both of our streams open and like side by side it. We had a whole thing going on. Yeah, overall run was pretty fun though. 2-3 sucked. Everything else is pretty good. There were like random little things like Fugu being kind of bad. Like,
Yeah, there are little
it's a
tidbits here
shame,
and there.
but little things like in races like this, I really don't care about like the little things. They actually don't get to me. It's the stuff like dying that tilts me. Like,
Yeah.
2-3 made me really sad. Like, the little mistake before I died, I was like,
It was
whatever.
a tiny
It's
little thing
stupid,
that got
but,
you off
like...
cycle for the horn.
Yeah,
right?
and then I was like, you know what? I didn't, I waited on the horn yesterday, I'm gonna go for the horn. And then, it killed me. I was like, this sucks, man. No wonder I waited for the horn yesterday, dude. But yeah, overall, though, I'm really happy with it. 23 on the dot, still super sick. Super close to another 122, especially with the death.
I believe Kruncha just topped in.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, hello.
So, how are you feeling, Kruncha?
Not great.
Yeah, a little bit rough. Were you behind? Like, did you know you were behind?
Yeah, I keep the stream open while I play.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looked like you were pressing a little bit there, especially towards the end, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
kind of mentally checked out by the end of 5-4.
Way of the road, man. It happens.
It happens to the best of us. So, but I mean, you got to go through a losers bracket. You beat like what 2 people in the losers bracket to get here. So then Spike actually was on winner's side, and you actually beat him in losers finals. So,
Well,
definitely-
he actually
Sure.
dropped out, so
oh, you dropped out. Okay.
Yeah.
You still
So-
showed you still showed him.
yeah, actually, all of my last 3 opponents forfeited races. So
Who did you face before the Spike matched up in losers finals?
Jock, and we did 1 race, and that was where I got my 123.09, and yeah, and then he dropped out of the second one.
Yeah, way of the road, man.
Yeah.
Still, though, just gives us time to practice for AGDQ.
I was about to say, I'm so proud you guys both nailed the Inca Dinka.
Well, I was close. But, Kruncha, did you get the whole thing?
He got the whole damn thing. I was.
Oh, the Inca Dinka or the Snowy Dough?
He got the Snowy Dough.
Okay, yeah, because that's where I messed up.
Like, you got like most of it. You had to like pull up at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the really good speed, and then...
Oh, yeah, you got the, I referred it to as I go for speed of sound and you go for speed of light. Where I do, like, I have the controlled speed that's still pretty good, and you just go for, like, the IL, like, banger nonsense.
So you like pulled up and like, God, that strat is so good.
Yeah, I'm definitely not ballsy enough to go for the speed of light speed. It's too much. I can't control it, man.
If you guys are wondering why I'm using terms like hummus, it's because of this.
Yeah, the hummus is real. I was hummusless.
Were you actually hummusless?
I'm pretty sure I was. Kruncha, did you have hummus incidents?
Oh, he hummused even in 1-3.
Ah, you had 1-3 hummus? Dang, you hit 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did.
So I'm trying to remember. That you might not have ever been hummused.
Yeah, because 3B is like, is the hummus, you know? Like most levels, it's like a little bit of hummus in your fridge, but like 3B is like, you're at Costco, they have all the hummus stands set up. Like, you gotta weave through that shit, you know?
Oh, man. So, any other thoughts you guys have on either the tournament or race today or grand finals, or just you guys are doing this again at AGDQ, aren't you? I believe.
Yeah. Well, I would personally like to give big shout outs to my competitor Kruncha. Good games, Crunchy. Always fun racing you. Look forward to racing at AGDQ. For those who don't know, we were supposed to race at SGDQ. It's 2015, right? That we did that.
Yeah.
That we did the relay.
No, the relay was 2016. SGDQ.
2016. Okay, that's why we double check. Yeah, and my boy Crunchy played the best out of all of us, so look forward to him at AGDQ. Of course, your boy Me is gonna also be there along with Spike Vegeta.
Dude, me is my favorite boy.
Are you gonna do commentary for that, Golden?
I will not be at AGDQ, unfortunately.
Oh dang! You could like remote it, you know?
Skype me in. We got this.
We got some devs in Gulo too.
I'm sure they'll be thrilled about that. Nah, you guys will do great commentary anyway. Plus, they want to hear you and Spike and Kruncha all yelling at each other and trash talking.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm excited for
the fridge full of hummus.
Yeah, AGDQ coming up is hype. This whole tournament was exciting. It's good to finally have it see an end, though.
Yeah,
It's been a long haul, but we made it.
It's been running slowly over like what, 3 months almost. It feels
A little
like.
more than that.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to 6.
It's been
Starting in June.
It's been out for 6 months. Oh my god. Yeah, it has, hasn't it? It's been. 6
Yeah,
months.
like happens. But it's good. I'm glad we got them done this week.
Yep.
Real quick, Kruncha, what controller do you use? Do you use individual Joy-Cons like side by side?
Yeah, with the like.
The
Oh,
grip?
you use the puppy dog ears?
Yeah, is that what they're called?
That's what I call them.
Yeah, when it's in the grip, it looks like a dog.
Yeah, that is what I use.
You still use analog, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Joy-Con D-pad buttons are so much better than the Pro controllers. Hate it.
Yeah, is it? Oh man.
I miss the
I love
D-pad, dude, every day.
On the Joy-Cons, and then like the actual one is just like. You get like diagonals really badly, especially if you like try to do fighting games on them. But the grips are so comfortable. The buttons feel amazing on the Pro controller.
Yeah, the buttons are good. D-pad's a little sus.
Apparently, the later versions they had some fixes for it. So
Oh, it's good.
apparently, if you get out of the Xenoblade one or supposedly the Smash one, should probably be fixed as well. It'll feel better.
Oh, then I have to spend $100, Goal.
I know. I already got
tax,
2 of them
Gold.
lying around too.
I'm in Quebec, Gold. Tax is 15%, man.
Yeah, but you guys have legalized marijuana now.
It's true. I have free weed. At least I didn't have to buy 2 copies to try. Sorry. What are you gonna do with the physical?
I don't know. I guess I should sell it back.
No, do a giveaway, bro. Hold your own Crunchy specific tournament. Winner wins a copy. You need a copy to enter. Yeah, besides GDQ and Crunchy shoutouts, that's all I can think of, honestly. Unless any of you two have things you want to plug or say.
I think that just about covers it for me.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Go vote in November.
Oh yeah, vote. What's the date for that? I'm Canadian, so I get an excuse. Is it the 6th?
I forgot. Go look it up.
Damn it, Cruncher, go vote. You know, we're gonna read it right now. We're gonna hit up the hotvote.org. Takes less than 2 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna register from Canada. This isn't working. I'm gonna go back. Doesn't have a date. Alright. If anyone knows the date, post it and then send you and your friends to vote.org. Voting wall. Come on, man. It's important.
Yeah. But yep, I'll be practicing more in the coming months, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, we
And follow
could.
both you guys. They're both awesome, by the way.
After GDQX, Kruncha, if you'd want to do a couple races with me, you, and Spike, we could set those up too.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful.
Just as like friendly little things, and then we can just work on stuff together and get used to, I don't know, I guess all racing together, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And we also wanted to, I guess I'll pitch this now, why not? Me and Spike were wondering if you wanted to do Dozido at GDQ.
Yeah.
Like to show it off instead of Funky. Our plan was going to be to shop in World 2. We'll buy a Cranky Barrel and a figurine. And then when we'll do like 3-2 normally
Hey,
with
you're
Funky.
spoiling for the chat. We need to do this somewhere else so that they don't get spoiled.
Nah, don't worry about it. Because these people, the cool people who watch the tourney, they get like that secret in, you know? They just have to promise not to tell anyone else. You guys get this insider info. That's what they're here for, you know? And then we're going to Cranky Barrel beginning of 3-3 and just blow their minds. Because Spike's not doing it for GDQX. So, like, anyone who's not watching this tournament, or the VODs, I guess, hi VOD people, are going to, they're going to have that info, you know? Yeah, that's the plan if you're in.
But you only have the World 2 figurines available, though. That's going to be kind of unfortunate, though.
Well, we could shop twice if we have to, you know?
I know, but you're limiting yourself.
Yeah, we are. We can't get a Bashmaster figurine, but we really want the hot hoots, let's be real. Like, all the best figurines, like, start at the beginning.
true. The hot hits is
The DLC figurines are low tier.
DLC. How many times did the world record for the Wii U version have you buying it?
I want to say at least 3. Yeah, I don't think I've BM'd harder in my life. Just like 30-second record. Oh yeah, it shops for a figurine. We wasted like 40 seconds because the loads are terrible.
Well, it wasn't quite that bad because we shot back
No,
then anyway.
that's true. Still though, like it definitely didn't save time.
I'm just gonna waste 10 seconds, buy a figurine, and move on. God,
It must have been more than 10, no? Like I feel like the shop load just to get in is 10. Yeah, I feel like that's it for us. We should probably let these wonderful people live the rest of their lives.
Right. Thanks for watching, everyone. The